You go after black males or black people quicker than you will go after white males. What are white males responsible for in this country as the downfall of it?
I'm an equal accountability smoke giver. I talk about everybody.
I'm just saying, I ain't heard you talk about white men since you've been up here.
You ain't been listening. You ain't been listening.
I've been listening to you.
No, you haven't.
I hear you
taking the... You don't have the capacity to be able to listen because you're too busy.
No. You got me wrong.
You too busy.
My capacity that you just criticized, that's an opinion. Here's the fact. Have you said something about Caucasian males and how they destroy this nation? Well, what did I miss?
Let's slow down because you talking loud, but you're not saying a lot.
No, you talking loud, and you still talking around. What did the Caucasian male do to America to bring it down?
I'm not getting into that.
You dancing around it. And that's why I lose respect for you when you start dancing and kissing Caucasian males' ass.
But I don't.
Don't do that in front of me because I'm not an ass kisser of nobody.
Yes, you are. You suck the dick of black people right now. You doing the easy shit. What you do, let me tell you what you do.
Nah,
see,
let me tell you something, homie. I don't suck dick.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do. So fix
that. You're doing it right now.
I don't suck dick, homie.
You doing it right now.
Homie, believe me when I tell you. I don't do that. I don't do that.
Listen.
So don't come at me with no dick sucking shit.
I'm going to give you the same energy you give me.
Let's switch seats.
Let's switch seats. I'm with it.
Homie, I don't do no dick sucking shit. I'm a motherfucking man. I don't do no dick sucking shit, homie.
I don't give a fuck about none of
Well, I tell you what, watch that dick sucking shit, because that'll go bad.
Call it what you want.
I don't do no dick sucking, homie.
You say a lot of shit that I don't fuck with either.
Okay, but that gay shit,
I don't give a fuck about what you talking about.
Hey, homie, I tell you what.
I'm right here.
Don't put no dick sucking shit. Don't put no dick sucking shit on me, nigga.
I'm from Detroit
Say I suck a dick again.
I'm right here, right now.
All right, that's what I'm saying.
I'm going to respect you.
Dance around it. Dance around it.
No.
I don't do no dick sucking shit.
I'm going to respect you because it's your platform, and I flew out here to have a conversation.
We good.
But you're not bossing up on me.
Yo, we good. I did already. I don't do dick sucking shit.
We can put the microphone right now and go on our back. I don't give a fuck about this shit.
Homie, you just running your mouth.
I'm not running my mouth.
You running your mouth. I don't do no dick sucking shit.
You doing this shit for the internet. You doing it for the internet. Now, if you want to say your time. No, hold on. If you want to say
I'll show you I ain't doing it for the internet.
If you want to say Anton, listen, don't disrespect me like that. If you want to say Anton, don't disrespect me like that, I'll respect you. But don't boss up on me because you said a lot of shit to me today that I don't fuck with either. But I let that shit ride because you don't know me. You don't know me. So I'm going to extend the same respect to you. You called me out of my name. You said some wild shit, especially with regard to how would it call this nigga out his name? Nigga, I'm telling you that you did. You can't tell me how I get respected.
I got a question for bro.
Okay.
No. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. We just get
that nigga voice getting loud and high pitched.
Loud. I ain't gonna get loud.
Then don't switch seats.
No, this is my show. This is my show.
That's cool, but I take that shit as a threat.
Okay, well, it is a threat.
All right. Enough. How did 5150 get there? How did we get there? What today's show is going to be about, let me get my timestamps right. What we're going to cover today is how it got to that point. I don't brag, but, I do got a degree in communication studies, and I worked for years on family and interpersonal communication. So let's talk about how it got there. We're going to break down and analyze clips leading up to that moment and then break down how we got to this point. But before we go there, I want to say welcome, chat room. Thank y'all for joining. Appreciate all y'all for being in here. I wanted y'all to see what we're going to be talking about today. And we're going to analyze and break down the situation. And as y'all know, people who follow me, I am different. If you've heard other people's analysis, I haven't personally. I've only watched the 5150, and I watched a little bit of Anton Daniels' response to Corey, but I ain't seen nobody else break it down. I've seen some titles. Some people breaking out the fade part. Some people who turned down the fade, who didn't turn down the fade, and all this other silly shit. We're going to break down what got to that and the coonery and the lies that were said to lead to that point. And that's why understanding who you are as a person and understanding the society you're in is so important. Because we almost had two brothers come to fisticuffs over a difference of opinion that started out, both these niggas was historically wrong. But we're going to go ahead and break all that down now. Again, welcome chat room. I'm not over here to get into who like who. Y'all know me. I don't know Anton Daniels. I think I don't think much of him from his videos. I think that he's a hustling. He uses Christianity to hustle. I like Corey Holcomb. You know what I mean? I love 5150. But I ain't been watching 5150 much lately because the topics have been coming stale. Straight up. No disrespect to anybody. Just that's my favorite show at one point on the internet. But as lately, it's gotten stale with the topics. I look forward to the day that a diversity of topics can return to that show. But last night was a banger. So let me turn my fan on, and we about to break it in. We about to break it down. Ah, shit. There we go. It's hot in the motherfucker in LA right now. So let's break it down. Yeah, the transatlantic slave trade. This whole situation could have been avoided if these brothers understood what all this shit's coming from. It all started, but really what they're arguing over really isn't what they're arguing over. What we have is in my personal opinion, and you're going to find that we're going to get to that later on when I play those parts. I think that Anton Daniels came with an agenda that he perfectly executed. I knew Corey. Of course, everyone has their own agenda to do things, but I don't think Corey understood how rooted Anton Daniels was in getting his agenda pushed across and being the dominant agenda of the show. And you can bet and believe he's going to be clipping this up and bringing in and mentioning it for years to come, even though he was lying like a motherfucker. But let's break it down. Yeah, Sparks flew like a motherfucker, man. So let's break it all the way down. Here we go. I'm gonna start here. About where I'm starting at is about 5 minutes into the video. And we're gonna be playing clips leading up to the altercation, okay? Let's go.
There's so much to say. I gotta ask you this, just off top.
I'm with it.
How do you feel?
Hey, first off, and this is the part that I did miss at first, because no lie, and this is any podcast, not just 5150. If you're gonna be eating while you talking, I ain't about to listen to you. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to have my ears break down the fight between bubblegum and what you're saying. It just one or the other, or at least move the mic away. That would go a long way. Mogoman said you never follow Antoine. It's crazy people follow him, right? Because that's a lying motherfucker right there. He's a lying ass nigga. And then Lee Chubber said, checked him, sorry. Hey, Lee Chubber, and this is not just to anybody else. If you got something to say to me, don't say you're sorry. All right? I don't like that. Don't apologize for saying what you say. When you say I'm sorry, to me, it comes off as I'm just saying it to say it. I don't really believe what I say. If you got something to say, and I appreciate the $2, but stand on it. If you think he punked him, cool. Just say, I think he punked him. Ain't no need to apologize for your opinion. Please don't do that to me, especially men. I don't like when men apologize for their opinion. Just say your opinion and people gonna like it or they're not gonna like it. But don't say I'm sorry. That's just annoying.
Because we ain't gonna do all politics, because that ain't what the show
We
about.
gotta get there though.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't want you to miss no points.
All right, I'm with it.
What do you feel about this nation as they jack other nations for their resources and play it off like it's other reasons. I'm talking about this nation, the U.S.
That's the part of the game.
When you say the part of the game, I don't understand.
Everybody done been conquered. Slavery didn't exist way before we ever came in here.
Mm-hmm. Now, that's very much so true. Chat room, is my audio okay? Chat, is my audio okay? Make sure my audio is okay, chat. But that's true. Slavery has existed for a long time, and in a lot of ways is capitalism. Remember this, most things that's bullshit start with truth. Pastors are great at that, giving you some truth, and then after that truth, here comes tons and tons and tons of bullshit. But that's true. But all bullshit is rooted in truth. It has a basis of truth somewhere in it, or you won't believe it.
So I don't see what the problem is.
Well, I tell you like this. I cannot respect men who are claim jackers. Like I don't
like what? Give me an example.
Like the United States.
No, give me an example, like a real life thing. Like, what did they take?
The United States.
Like taking this country?
Not just taking this country. How do you think you got here?
The transatlantic slave trade.
You smart man.
Right. I studied it. I know all about it.
So
right there. So now we're starting, and this is how a lot of arguments go. And the reason why arguments blow up is because when you root your argument in something that's a half-truth, because transatlantic slave trade is most definitely part of the truth. But a half-truth is a whole lie. When you start your discussion based in a half-truth, then I'm going to say some things that are half-true and half-bullshit. Even if you don't know things, you say the bullshit or bullshit. You're going to say some things that are half-truth and half-bullshit. So off top, you're about to have a massive disagreement based off something that's not fully true. Fact is, the transatlantic slave trade is a part of slave history. Transatlantic slave trade, according to white people's numbers, is less than 400,000 people brought here between 1609 and 1808. That's the number that they put, which means the amount of people who came from Africa is negligible. They did come from Africa, but the amount of Africans that came here is negligible. It's part of the story. Not even the biggest part of the story. But let's carry on.
Yeah, it's very hard to be respectful of what is here when me, for example, as an African-American male, I know how I got here. I didn't take the cheap flight on Frontier here. My people were kidnapped. My people were robbed. They what?
They were sold by Africans.
You say all the people were sold by Africans?
How you think what you think white people came over there and got us?
Yes.
No.
There we go. Another instance where Corey's half right and Anton is half right. They're both half right. There were people who were kidnapped. You're a damn fool if you don't. Even if there's something. Look at right now. Brett Favre was a millionaire and he stole money from the state of Mississippi. That's how the white supremacists operate. They'll do some shit honest. Yeah, they sold a few. And they also kidnapped some too. For the ones that came from Africa. But Anton's right also. Africans most definitely sold Africans. That's how the shit. That's why it was able to last for so long. The Dahomey was used to go all up in there in the inner Africa and kidnap farmers and scientists and engineers and sell them off mostly to Brazil, mostly to the Caribbean. That's where most slaves went. Don't listen to me. Look it up. So the story that they're talking about, the majority of it don't even have nothing to do with Black Americans because, again, we were a negligible amount of people that came from that process. That process, the majority of those people went to the Caribbean and went to South America, according to their documents, not DeJuan Brown. So now the argument is starting to mushroom over differences of opinion or different point of view of a half-truth. That's a whole lie. Does that make sense, chat room?
They were sold.
So
they just capitalized off of it better than the Africans did.
Okay, so you're saying that all of the black people that were brought here were sold by Africans.
Correct.
So the white people they were just doing transactions over there.
Absolutely. It was capitalism. See, the thing about white people,
and that's another half truth. Yes, it was most definitely capitalism, but it was also barbarism. Okay? These people, when you talk about, let me just give you one story. When you're talking about the Dahomey, and that's what that Woman King movie was based off of, those women warriors. That was also a half truth because they did have women warriors, but those women warriors, for the most part, protected the king. The men were still the primary soldiers for the Dahomey tribe. But the Dahomey that the movie that Woman King was based off of, yes, they went inside and captured and sold other Africans to the French. The other truth is, when it was time for the French to colonize the Dahomey did a good job beating the French up until the French brought in the Gatling gun. Do y'all know about the Gatling gun? So what Anton Daniels is trying to clean up and make it seem as if, oh no, it was just capitalism. Yeah, half truth. It was capitalism combined with the Gatling gun. This thing right here. This is what subdued the Dahomey. But like Corey is saying, brother's a whole coon. So he's not trying to bring in that part of the truth. And that's what you have to watch out for people who put their religion ahead of who they are. We're going to get to that religion part. But whenever people put, I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Sikh, I'm a whatever first, you better watch out 4,000 times. The one time, when I'll never forget, I was heavily in church. When I was 23 and I bought this investment property, something in my spirit, in my gut was off about it. But what helped relax me was the realtor that I was buying the house through was also a minister. And he had a Bible on his desk and praying hands. And at that time, I was sitting in the church, and I allowed that at that time in my 20s to push my doubts to the side. Next thing I know, I got fucked on that house deal by the dude with the Bible in his hand. So, not saying all Christians are bad, but I'm saying when people lead with that, watch out. Because if you all the way 100, you ain't got to lead with your religion. You lead with your humanity. You lead with your humanity and who you are. But let's keep going.
The thing about white people, you think that racism is inherently in them. Racism is inherently in all of us.
He said, you think white people, racism is inherently in them. See, this is the dude that has never studied what racism is. It's not about being race. No, racism is taught. It's passed down. The same way it's taught within a culture of people. And I know this from talking to white people who have chosen to go the other direction. If you read Birth of a White Nation by Dr. Batalora, you will find that racism is a system that was taught not only in the home, it's reinforced in school, it's reinforced in the media, it's reinforced in the judicial system. When white people go out of line, like F. Lee Bailey, y'all remember F. Lee Bailey who defended OJ? They disbarred that motherfucker. Mostly all those OJ defense attorneys got screwed with for defending that Negro. John Brown got lynched. Do you know that that's how racism was taught? If you go back to the Salem massacres, the Salem witch burnings, when white women were getting burned for being notified for being witches. Do you know why they burned witches? Was because those witches learned their magic from the black indigenous people. Those white women witches were dealing with those indigenous, teaching them that magic, teaching them herbs, teaching them all this stuff. And the white man got jealous. So he burned his women to teach her, you don't fuck with them. That's what those Salem massacres were about. Study your history, Anton Daniels. White supremacy was enforced to these people and passed down through violence. The populist revolt of 1892, when white men and black men got in alignment and voted in the 1892 election, 1888, white men were punished with lack of opportunity, jobs being taken away, rights being taken away. White men were punished that were part of the Populist Party in the late 1890s. Okay? And today in America, companies that have too many black people automatically get downgraded when it comes to the prestige of their, when they want to go public. They have to watch how many black people are in prominent positions when they want to go public if they want the highest ratings. That's happening right now in 2026. But that's a whole nother story I got to break down later on here on YouTube. But let's keep going.
Black people is some of the most racist people I've ever seen in my entire life. We don't even like each other.
So can I ask you a question?
No.
He said we don't like each other. Of course not. Question, folks. Who in the world likes each other? Oh, just because we're the same race, we get along. You definitely can't say white folks. White folks just killed Charlie Kirk. All up in his neck. So yeah. And?
Hold on. Let's stay there.
Okay.
We don't even like each other. And so black people participate. Some of the first slavers in the United States of America was black people.
Some of them were. But those weren't the ones that created the system that we're in right now. Because as a matter of fact, if you study slavery, Anton Daniels, you'll find that the brutality in slavery and a lot of those codified slave laws didn't really start coming until the 1860s. I'm sorry, 1660s. Those early years in the 1620s, 1630s, you didn't have a lot of these codified racist laws. As a matter of fact, it really wasn't until Bacon's Rebellion in chat room, when was Bacon's Rebellion? What was it, 1682? So we're about 60 years in to slavery in America when you start seeing codified slave laws. When race laws started to come into play. Race laws really started to get codified late 1690s into the 1700s. It wasn't something that happened overnight. And the reason is because now you got to deal with what was going on with the black Brits that were coming over here, up in Boston, up in Pennsylvania, especially Boston. But that's a whole deeper story. Yeah, 1676. That was Bacon's Rebellion. That's when race-based laws started to come into play. So this dude don't even know these intricacies of history. Racism was slowly built up through the 16 and 1700s, a little at a time. Okay? But this is what happens when you have people that don't know their history. These niggas is arguing over some shit that's mostly false. But like Neely Fuller said, that's the primary point of racism. The primary point of racism is to build confusion. Racism works best on confusion. Always remember Neely Fuller's words. Racism works best on confusion. It's all about confusion. When people are confused, they fight. Confused people fight. And this Anton Daniels dude's confused like a motherfucker.
That's the truth. So what I'm trying to understand is,
was slavery in the United States before?
Slavery existed thousands of years before we got here.
And Corey's making a good point. Was slavery in the United States before? And the answer is no. It was not in the United States before the arrival of the European. It wasn't. Because before the arrival of the European, you had this man named Hiawatha. Hiawatha and this is all of memory. I wasn't planning on going here, so I ain't got no notes. But look up Hiawatha and then burying the hatchet. It was either in the 10th or 11th century. And they built a confederacy that lasted in the Americas. What the French named the Iroquois Confederacy. There was a name before that, but the French called it the Iroquois Confederacy. And you saw from the 11th century through basically 17 through the 19th century, 18th century, you had an amalgamation of nations, a Senate and a Congress that worked with one another, and they did not enslave one another. They didn't do that. That's matter of fact, Ben Franklin writes about how he got the concept of a Senate and a Congress from the nation states that were already here. And those nation states did not have slavery at the time of the arrival of the European. Okay? What Anton did was, now was slavery going on? Hell yeah, slavery was going on at that time. It was a hell of a lot of slavery going on in Africa. The Arabs were enslaving the shit out of Africans. And you also had slavery going on in Eastern Europe during this time, where white folks are enslaving one another. The Slavs at that time. That was going on. But Anton Daniels is a dumbass, so he don't know this. All right? And for my mods in the chat, allow people to say, if people disagree, allow people to disagree. But if they got bad jokes, ban them. Somebody say I'm biased as fuck. So what, bitch? I'm over here giving it a point of view. And if you call it biased, then get the fuck out of here if you don't like it. This is my point of view. I'm not here to appease you. And so, again, chat room, a lot of people disagree, but no bad jokes. 2 bad jokes, 86,000 seconds out of here. You dig? We ain't got time to people to be saying shit that don't make us laugh. If they make us laugh, let them stay. The jokes are funny, let them stay. So let's go. Again, an argument, a damn near fight that's based off of a whole bunch of lies, half-truths, and misnomers. It did not have to go there.
Okay. Slavery was on every single continent in this world. That's a fact. Now, the thing that's a problem with it is that, then this is the problem that I have. What you niggas want?
What do you mean when you say what you need?
What do y'all want? Like, because y'all complaining about it over and over again, and I'm trying to understand what is it that y'all looking for. What is gonna help y'all?
This one asking this is where Anton get to cooning for the white folks. He jumped over Jim Crow, first Jim Crow. He's jumping over Jim Crow 2.0. He's jumping over what's going on in the moment and acting as if this is something that isn't still going on to this day.
Whole thing that has happened.
Because I'm solutions oriented. And I'm tired of niggas that ain't never been through shit complaining about shit that they ain't.
I'm with them there. I'm solutions oriented too. And that's why I get into understanding. You get to solve things by understanding the genesis and the basis of things. You cannot solve a problem not knowing and not dealing with the reality. You have to deal with the reality if you want to solve something.
Ain't never been through.
If you black in the United States, you've been through some shit.
But I'm tired of niggas complaining about shit that they have never been through. Like, you've been through some shit, but you ain't been through that.
How do you know people haven't gone through? How do you know?
That.
I don't understand. What are you saying?
Like, because most of the niggas that's complaining about it ain't never even really seen real racism. These is new niggas. All of these internet niggas right here, these is new niggas.
So are you?
He's saying that people that are complaining haven't seen racism. People that are complaining haven't seen racism. And please don't call in. The call-in line is not open right now. I'm talking right now. Call-in line gonna be open later on. He's saying people haven't experienced racism. Anton, you've experienced racism by the time you're 3. Son, you experienced it in the hospital where you was born and where your parents took you, and the access to resources that were denied to you that was given to other people based on their skin color. That's where you experience racism. You experience racism in school when they understand by the 2nd grade where you're going, whether it be to college or to the prison yard. And they socially engineer schools to create these outcomes. These are facts too. I know because I worked getting kids out of IEPs for 15 years. You probably had one. Racism affects 2nd graders. Okay? Racism is the facts of your history not being pushed into schools. Racism is understanding that taking resources out of schools to where children with advanced brains don't get advanced education. And if you take a kid that's very, very intelligent and you hold them back academically with feeding them information so that they learn, those kids tend to become destructive. Now, if you take 10 of them, if you take 10 very fast-minded kids and pull back and retard their education, all 10 aren't going to become violent. 4 are probably going to still do well for themselves. 4 are going to do mediocre for themselves. But 2 are going to get very, 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 active because their brains aren't being fed quick enough. So they create problems. And in a class of 30 children, all you need is 2 disruptors. All 30 kids don't have to be disruptive. Well, you only need 2. And you're dealing with a system that engineers these outcomes in elementary aged kids. You've dealt with racism long before you can spell racism, son. And this isn't just me talking. If you go ahead and just look at the outcomes when it comes to IEPs, special education, and the amount of black children shepherded into special education who don't need it, who probably need advanced education. But in my days, I used to do IEP work. I used to see the outcomes in the school on the east side of town versus my white clients. There was the most definite difference. So that's just one part of racism I'm dealing with. I'm not going to talk about the zoning laws in the hood. See, in Detroit, it might work different. He say he's from Detroit. I don't know. But here in LA, the zoning laws that say, okay, yeah, we're only going to allow so many health food juice bars into this area. We're only going to allow so many doctors, so many eye doctors. We're only going to allow so many constructive uses of this commercial real estate. We'll allow in payday loan places. We'll allow in fast food. We'll allow in low quality grocery stores. We'll allow in hair care supplies that's controlled by Asians and not black people. It's called permits. It's called what you're permitted to do. And in the city of LA, there's a hardcore line about what people are permitted to do based on the racial demographic of a neighborhood. Like I told y'all before, I got my own goddamn, I'm dealing with the city right now over shit like that. Look at this dummy right here. He said, nigga, you haven't experienced slavery. You don't know what Anton talking about. What form of slavery are you talking about, Logic, with 2 C's? Why are you spelling in Crip? I'm not about to take a nigga that used to Crip coming around here trying to have a civilized conversation. You hurt your own people, nigga. I can tell by the way you spell your words. You a nigga that grew up hurting your own people. The fuck out of here trying to come with some moral argument. You hurt your own people growing up, nigga. Sit down. All black people that were in America in the 16, 17, 1800s weren't slaves. Slavery was a portion of the population, the same way prisoners are a portion of the population now. You still had tons of free black people during that time. But because they were black, they had to deal with black codes. We all had to deal with black codes. Every black person, we still got to deal with black codes. Separate but unequal. Taxation without representation, you stupid fucks. What do you think the Boston Tea Party was about when America had a revolution against England? Taxation without representation. Based on the color of my skin. So what? I wasn't out there on picking cotton. Why in the hell is it right now I'm taxed but not represented with my core needs of my people when other people get the same? But one thing I will not take, and no disrespect to the gang members or nothing like that, but one thing I will not take is a nigga that's spelling in Crip talking to me about shit when it comes to politics or morality. You hurt your own people growing up, nigga. I didn't. That's one thing we not gonna do. We gonna have some decorum around here. And again, no disrespect to the gang members. No disrespect to all y'all, but I'm not gonna be checked by y'all. You hurt your own people. Y'all check me if I'm talking about some hood shit. Y'all got all the right in the world to check me. But we talking geopolitics, stand down. Stand down. So back to what we talking about. This nigga got the nerve to spell his name in Crip and try to come talk to me about morals. Again, people can still disagree. Mods, allow people to disagree. Just no bad jokes. Don't ban people for disagreeing. Ban them for bad jokes. What's up, Joe Feezy? Gotta have you back on here pretty soon. Hey, Lee Chubbard, are you slow, stupid, or intoxicated? Of course I'm not a Crip, you dummy. That's why I say the Crip can't check me. When it comes to politics, you can check me on street shit. That's why DeJuan don't talk street business. I leave street business to street people. I'm a sidewalk nigga. But ain't nobody gonna come that hurt their own people checking me. Did you listen? Do you got a dick in your ear? God damn. See, y'all see the kind of people who disagree with me? They stupid as fuck. It's generally only stupid people that disagree with me. I literally told the nigga I'm not a Crip or a Blood. And he says, you ain't no Crip DeJuan. Duh. I swear to God, people who disagree with me are dumb as fuck. That nigga dumb who said that.
You seeing black people in the United States, some of them have skipped over racism?
Yes. Definitively.
Come on, man.
Definitively. You have a
How can you skip over a system of racism that targeted you in infancy? Infant child mortality. When it comes to the infant child mortality rate, when it comes to black women oftentimes having to get less of the painkiller because nurses think that black people can tolerate more pain. And because of their skin, they're not getting the right levels on their epidurals or whatever to minimize the pain. That baby had to go through that trauma that the mama experienced. So that means the baby's coming into a world with unequal access to resources based on the color of their skin. Like, you cannot say that when you focus on all the racism that's put on the child before the age of 8. You cannot definitively say you haven't gone through anything. And if you do anything, in business, you've most definitely gone through racism. 100,000%, especially when you're dealing with the city. Well, again, I don't know about Detroit. I'm not in Detroit. But I know Detroit is still a white supremacist town, just like LA is. So I don't know the difference in how their local economy racism. But I'll tell you this. Well, I'll give you an example of what works in Detroit. Do you see any black banks in the white neighborhoods in Detroit? That's racism. Where are the black banks in white neighborhoods? I'll wait.
You have a greater chance of being.
Where are the Asian banks in white neighborhoods? Detroit got a whole bunch of Indians in that motherfucker now. Where are the Indian banks in white neighborhoods?
Killed by somebody that look like you than to ever interact with somebody that don't look like you and kill you.
But
racism doesn't come down. See, what he did was he equated racism with getting killed. White people are most likely to get killed by somebody that likes like them. Asians, Latinos. It's called crimes of proximity. It doesn't change the fact that racism is what it is. Yes, when I step outside that door, I'm most likely to get killed by a black person. And you know a black person I'm most likely to get killed by? A self-hating nigga like Anton Daniels.
That's a fact.
Do you understand that it's made like that on purpose? The position.
It's the system. The system against us. I got it.
Okay, but the position you and your people are in.
Who is my people?
Black.
Listen to this part right here. He said, who is my people? Corey says black people. Listen to this shit.
People. Do you claim black people?
I'm a Christian first. I claim.
Well, I think something's wrong with that. If you don't want to say.
He said, I'm a Christian first. And there we have it. Chat room, what did I tell y'all a long time ago? Watch out for people that put their religion first. Righteous people, righteous Christians put themselves first before their Christianity. Righteous Muslims put themselves first before their religion. Righteous Hindus put themselves first before their religion. The only people who put their religion before them are the unrighteous. It's a defense mechanism. It's a smoke screen. It's a look at this so you don't have to look at me. That's what makes him a self-hater right there. Somebody in chat room scrolling fast, somebody said, what makes him a self-hater? The fact that he doesn't put himself before he puts his religion. I'm a Christian first. That's a self-hater. Because look, I played the drums in church for 20 years. And I'm not here going at Christians. It's plenty of cool Christians out there. I ain't going at all Christians. You dig what I'm saying? But what I am saying is when You want to hear a self-hating song? Silver and Gold. That song came out in 94 when black people weren't facing gentrification. We said, give me Jesus, and you had a silver and gold. And in the last 30 years, we still got Jesus, and we ain't got a neighborhood no more. That's some self-hating shit, to put an entity outside of yourself ahead of you. And again, not saying this is all Christians. It's how people use the religion. And when people use the religion as a front, 9 times out of 10, watch out. When people use it as a front, when people hide behind it. I'm coming from experience. Played the drums in church 20 years. All the good Christians that I observe, they put themselves first. Because they're righteous.
Say you're a black man first. I think something wrong with
Black
that.
is a construct. They told you that you was black.
Okay, well,
He said black is a construct. They told you were black. Let's deal with that. Black is a construct in which the United States of America works that we're in right now. We live in a country that has a color-coded caste system. The same way they have feudalism in England. England dealt with feudalism for their every society has a stratification system. And in the United States of America, which is the dominant system of the planet right now, and especially the dominant system of this country, the social class system is based on color. Anglo-Saxon, white, Protestant, land-owning male at the top, and everyone else has to fall in line. That's a fact. So when you want to remove yourself from this fact, we're not dealing in reality. But this is what happens when you put people who say I'm a Christian first. You off top, you're not dealing in reality. You're not dealing in reality because you never say, how did Jesus get hung on a Friday and rise after the third day, but he came up on a Sunday? We're not dealing with reality. He got hung on Friday, Saturday 1 day. Sunday is 2 days. If he got put in the ground on the Friday, his first full day in the ground was Saturday. His second one was Sunday. You motherfuckers don't even ask. Well, why didn't Jesus at least rise on Monday? You're not dealing in reality.
That's why you start believing it. No.
Maybe
We
I'm
not brown. We not black. We not none of that shit.
Oh, well, what are we?
We not none. For me, I'm a believer in God. That's what I am.
He went from we to me. Corey asked a great question. What are we? He said, but for me. And the reason why, I don't mean to bash Christianity, but when people put their religion first, they hustling you. People only got to put their religion first when they hustling you. Righteous people, there are righteous Christians who you'll find out they're Christian if that's the topic. You'll find out they're Muslim if that's the topic. But when they lead with that shit, watch out. Let me read some of these super chats. I'm behind on super chats. So it's dangerous when people have a loyal following and spread lies. Anton is a vine of Charlie Kirk. Anton came with an agenda. That's really sucker shit. He really did come with an agenda, Mogul Maze. Yes, he did. Calvin Dixon said, I love your show, brother, and I live in Detroit, and nobody knows who Anton is. He's a famous YouTube famous. We don't claim this clown. He said we don't, and he got the Lions hat on. Hey, y'all Detroit fans, y'all love y'all Lions, even though they ain't won shit. But y'all love y'all Lions. What's up, Nada? 8697, I appreciate your loyalty to this channel. Shaya8 says, no one tells small hats about the Holocaust. Exactly. But that's what's getting Corey frustrated. Said, good content. If Anton thought Corey was rough, he wouldn't last 5 minutes debating me. Right. He wouldn't. And the difference between me and Corey is I won't get into my feelings. Now, I'm gonna say that part. See what Anton is doing right now. I'm sure he's doubling up playing games right now. Corey fell for the bait. And that's just all honesty. I love Corey. I love 5150, but that's fact. Corey fell for it. He allowed this dude to get him out his square. Corey's win is always going to be comically. Corey could have talked about this nigga looking like Billy Paul. He could have said all kind of stuff about this dude. He could have talked about him being a Christian and how because Corey be having good jokes on like Corey has one joke that I heard when I saw him live. He said Jesus Christ was a side baby. That shit was funny as fuck. Corey's win here would have been comedically. Corey losing his composure is making most of what I'm saying irrelevant because there was a lot that led to Corey losing his composure. There's a lot of important stuff that was said, and Corey had justified reason for feeling the way he felt. But people aren't going to go back and look at the justified reason. They're going to take their sides, and they're going to see you. You know, Tasha K going to probably do something with this, her weird ass. You know what I mean? And so, yeah. Anton Daniels came with the agenda of making... I don't know. I haven't talked to him. I wasn't there. But based on what I've seen so far, it's, to me, Anton Daniels came with an agenda. He came with an agenda to get Corey out of his sorts. And if you're going to look at it from that point of view, agenda executed.
My foundation is always going to be Christianity, Christ, Jesus first. I don't claim none of that other shit. You're not gonna get me to believe in you based off of some shit that you can't control. You didn't pick it. And the thing about other culture.
See here, he said, I'm not black. He said, we're not black. And then Corey said, what do you think you are? He said, he totally switched the subject and said, I see myself as Christian. And he totally removed himself from the social construct that America began creating after Bacon's Rebellion in 1676. This country has gone through, we're down on the 250-year anniversary of this country, which means we're on the 350-year anniversary of Bacon's Rebellion. Let me get the exact date. Yeah, 1776. It doesn't say which month. Okay. In September 19th. Okay. So this coming September is going to be the 350-year anniversary of Bacon's Rebellion. When they really started. Because again, racism is something that was put in through law. People who are identified as Negro or colored cannot carry guns. People identified as colored cannot vote. And those laws oftentimes are still redone but they're just recodified through today. DK Metcalf is an example. In the old days, no, you couldn't carry a gun. But nowadays, you still can't defend yourself. Look at DK Metcalf. If that was a white player that was being antagonized by a black fan, do you think the brother would have been suspended and lost out on $45 million? He lost out on $45 million defending his name and defending himself against racial attacks. Color so him losing that money was a signal to all of us in 2026. The system perpetuates itself. It just takes on a different form.
Whether you black, Chinese, Asians don't fuck with each other just because they're Asian. Chinese people and Japanese people and Taiwanese people, they're all different. Koreans are.
Duh. But you know what they do, Anton? Because those people have issues because the Chinese and the Japanese have historical fights. Those Japanese people left China because of the historical difference and moved to Japan. And they conquered the dark-skinned melanated people who were already on that island of Japan. But that came after disputes and spats with others in China. Same with Korea. We call them Asian. They call themselves by their nationality. And one thing, going back to what Corey's talking about black, a Japanese person can have issues with other Japanese people. But Japanese people are going to band together when the Chinaman is at a threat. When it's a Chinese person, they're going to band together to take on the Chinese. The Chinese are going to band together to take on the Koreans. The reason why America is able to manipulate North and South Korea because America and the West has drawn a successful divide between North and South Korea. And because the South Koreans don't band with the North Koreans, the South Koreans get some benefits out of that, but the North Koreans are basically being forced to live in the 1800s because of it. That's what happens when you don't band with an example of not banding together is North and South Korea. But I think Anton knows that. But Anton is South Korea. He's like, I'm not going to band with North Korea because I want that white money. So what he's doing is this dude doesn't even understand geopolitics. Each group of Asians is an independent group that bands together with those of their group to throw off attacks from those outside their group. And when they don't, they end up like North and South Korea. Split, divided, and conquered. Russell said, I'm just going to say, when you hang with clowns like Charleston White, you become one. Did for this clout and views. Worse than Brandon Tatum. Yeah. Yeah. So if Anton Daniels understood geopolitics, he's arguing against himself at this point.
Different. All white people don't fuck with all white people. So why do I have an obligation to fuck with somebody just because he black? Okay. And then the definition of how you define black is based off of something that a white man gave to you. Okay.
You don't have an obligation to fuck with somebody just because they're black. White people don't fuck with each other just because no one mess with each other just because they're white. They're the same color. It's when faced with opposition from others, that's when you band together and you set your differences to the side long enough to stop the attack from the outside. But Anton's not going to look at the attack from the outside because remember, he's a Christian, not black. You're right. Straw man argument like a mofo. He's not using logic right here.
Well, trust me, brother. You white people, let me tell you something. I know Caucasian people that have looked at me.
Yeah, right here. Anton is literally contradicting himself, but this is why this was a dangerous conversation for Corey to engage in. Because Corey has a surface level knowledge and information of a lot of this stuff. Everyone who watches 5150 know Corey doesn't dive deep into this. That's what Zoe was really good for when Zoe was there, you know? Diving deep into it and understanding the intricacies of things so that you can come back and not only come back, but also call out somebody else's BS. The primary reason for understanding, not the reason you don't want to get involved without understanding the intricacies of something, is because people can come back to you with complete BS and you won't have the language to thwart what they're saying. I wish Zoe was still here for this show.
Me and threw me licks. But I am from Chicago.
And I'm from Detroit.
It was Chicago is very segregated. I knew nothing about Caucasian people until I moved to Los Angeles. And
okay, let me get to this other part. I want to skip past that part and let me get to my other timestamp that I have here. Here we go.
Interesting.
excuse me, ma'am, you need a mic, ma'am. You can ask on the mic. God damn it.
Anton, just a clarifying question.
Yeah, Craig been there would have been a lot better. It would have been a lot better if Craig was there.
What about, are you comparing racism with prejudice? Is it, do you think black people can truly be racist, or are we just prejudiced?
No, I think that there's a lot of people that hate white people, like straight up hate white people, and it's very unfortunate because they're not.
He went right into a bunch of black people that hate white people. I don't really know too many black people that just hate white people. I know black people that have issues with things that was done. But if somebody did something, that doesn't necessarily mean you're talking about what they did or doing, actively doing, that doesn't equate to hate.
Not even the ones that's winning over here. We compare ourselves against a group of people that the majority of them is on food stamps and welfare. They would be a disappointment to their ancestors.
Right, but
No, they wouldn't, Anton. He said we're comparing ourselves to white people who are mostly on food stamps and welfare. They would be a disappointment to their ancestors. No, you coon. No, their ancestors. Do you know that the majority of the Midwest was filled by Germans that were released from prison? America brought the poor. America brought the weak. America brought the most dysfunctional Europeans to the United States and instantly gave them land through the Homestead Act. And then after they gave them land through the Homestead Act, Dr. King teaches and says, they built the university system to teach them how to grow and cultivate said land, to teach them how to create an economy and trade with the resources that come from the land. Iowa State, the University of Nebraska. These schools were created to teach people who were given welfare how to make money. So when he's talking about they would make their ancestors, no, they wouldn't. Their ancestors would be proud that they still in this country and they don't have to work to get money. Their ancestors will be proud that they set up a system to where their descendants don't have to work to make a living. The fuck you mean they be disappointing their ancestors? Their ancestors were grifters. Not all. But a whole lot. Russell says salute. Oh yeah, I read that one. Appreciate that, Russell. Gray's take says, he says black was given to us by a white man. Right, but so was Christianity. Both are a result of the system. Right. And I'm going to get on that Christian point. You're right. Iris says Anton had an agenda and security. Something Pipsy said years ago is he didn't walk around with security. Notice Corey checked him when it got heated and Anton needing security. I've interacted with Anton on the channel. He's a hoe. Ah, damn. But yeah, he said black was given to us. Christianity was given to us. And then there was another argument that they were given. One big mistake is, look, Christianity, the dangers of Christianity goes back to Charlemagne the Conqueror in the 11th century, in the 10th, 11th century, using Christendom to band together other Europeans, other Caucasians, to fight against the Muslims, the dark-skinned people. Christianity, from a European construct, from its inception, was used as a gathering tool for the purposes of war and killing and bloodshed. So again, when someone like Anton Daniels say I'm a Christian first, you're cloaking the bloodshed that comes along with it.
Racism, a system that controls access to,
Well, that's the argument, right? The argument is
we can't make sure white people don't get access to certain schools and programs and things like that.
the main way that
You need to be empowered to be racist, to be quite
But
honest.
see, that's what I was going to say. That's the argument that black people make, is that you can't be racist if you can't actually have an impact on another group of people. So
That's a fact. Now, cross eyes is going to try to change the fact. And another thing, you can't listen to wisdom from a nigga with cross eyes. If he can't see straight, he can't think straight, which means he can't talk straight. You got a nigga pushing Christianity and he cross-eyed? I feel bad for anybody taking advice from this nigga.
supposedly systemic. It's false.
Really?
I just seen
He said it's false, but doesn't tell you how it's false. Well, let's listen to his point of view on how it was false. Listen to this cracker shit, and I'm going to answer this.
a guy that used to be the president of the United States of America that wanted to becoming the president of the United States of America for the second time, almost get everything taken away from him. Literally. And he was basically being taken down by black people. Kamala Harris, Letitia James.
He said black people took down Trump. No. The House Judiciary Committee took down Donald Trump. It was the House Judiciary Committee that took him down. It was Stormy Daniels, a white woman, that took him down. Most of this was over Stormy Daniels. That's a white woman. It was the Biden administration that really went after him. You notice he didn't blame Mitt Romney. It's literally only Letitia James and Fonnie Willis. Those are the two black people that's involved in this. Kamala Harris ain't black. She's Indian. It's Letitia James and Fonnie Willis are the only two black people that you could name. Everybody else was white. 10 House Republicans voted to impeach him. 7 Senate Republicans. It was the Justice Department Special Counsel Jack Smith. The special counsel on Donald Trump's case was Jack Smith, a white man. When it came to Donald Trump's hush money case, it was Alvin Bragg, was the Manhattan DA that prosecuted Trump's hush money case that was revolving around Stormy Daniels, a white woman. Alvin Bragg. Fannie Willis went after him over election interference. And do you think that Fannie Willis had ultimate power and control when it came to that? I mean, you got Liz Cheney. You got all these white folks you got CNN. CNN is not run by black people. The media apparatus, CNN, MSNBC, that attacked them nonstop. It was George Stephanopoulos from, ABC News, that Donald Trump won a case against. Go look at the people that Donald Trump won defamation cases against. Those were white reporters. There were no black reporters that he won defamation cases against. Let me see if I... Who did Trump win def? Do you see why Corey's getting so frustrated? ABC News, George Stephanopoulos, yeah. The New York Times, the BBC. These are the people that were caught defaming. Well, not caught. New York Times was thrown out, but he sued and lost. But ABC lost. He's going around all of these white people that took down Donald Trump. Corey, this dude was setting you up the whole time, brother.
Who was the, in New York, Fani Willis, down in Georgia. All of those are black women, specifically that met with Kamala Harris months before they actually started this campaign during the Biden administration.
He did not mention the Democratic Judiciary Committee and the Democrat plan to take him down. The Democrats put together a plan and they used Democrats in key states that they can get Trump on something in.
And it's so funny to me because then I have to ask myself the question, well, listen, if this is a construct and if it's all about white people and all of the energy is going towards a person that black people fucked with before he actually ran for president of the United States of America, but we champion Barack Obama.
That's another lie. Black people did not fuck with Donald Trump like that. Donald Trump was, for those of you younger, let me give you some history. Because it's old niggas like this that misguide the youth. Donald Trump was a white man's celebrity. He was on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And when it came to rappers dropping Donald Trump's name, it's because when you're dealing with music, and if the song is about I'm richer than you, I got more money than you, instead of saying that, you say I'm Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump was the face of money. Everybody in America liked Donald Trump before 2014. Donald Trump was getting praised on The View in 2013. America loved Donald Trump. And we're Americans. So when somebody's on TV all the damn time, some people gonna like him, some people aren't, most won't give a fuck. Donald Trump was just another white celebrity. It's not like we was like, oh man, Trump. No, it was like, okay, Donald Trump. Again, another stereotype.
Obama.
Not me.
No.
Then he said, listen to this.
No. Take yourself out of it. We talking about the culture. It may not necessarily be you individually, but we as a culture fuck with him.
Fuck with who?
Barack Obama.
We as a culture fuck with Barack Obama. Yeah, maybe in 2012, but has this guy been paying attention? If we as a culture fucked with Obama so heavily, why didn't we listen to him when he asked us to vote for Hillary? Why did his podcast fail? Why does nobody give a damn about me? If we fucked with the Obamas, why is Michelle Obama's podcast basically a failure? Barack and Michelle signed that $20 million, that I don't know how many million, that the multi-million-dollar deal with Spotify. Chat room. When was the last time you seen black people quoting the Obamas? And they have a podcast right now. When was the last time Michelle or Barack Obama's word rang anything when it came to black people? The dude is lying. This is what happens when you're dealing with a liar. See, Corey invited a snake. If you're going to invite a snake, you better be prepared. You better have some truth serum. And truth serum is not getting up in the man's face because that's what the man wanted. This is straight up Charlie Kirk behavior. He's no different than Charlie Kirk. Anton Daniels is a black Charlie Kirk. Let's throw a wall of lies against the shit and let's base our point of view. Let's base my point of view on this legion of lies I'm getting ready to throw your way. Landon Dallas says Anton was pushing mad. Yeah, but he's pushing this disinformation like crazy than a motherfucker. So now you're starting to see Corey knows. Here's the thing. Corey knows this is BS that he's pushing. But he doesn't have the vocabulary to address it. He doesn't have the information to address it. And Anton knew that. Anton knew that. But this is why like, when we say, and I be seeing y'all something like when I used to watch 5150 a lot, I saw a lot of y'all in the chat room saying like, nah, Corey, you need to listen to more that person, read some more because you speaking on something that's really not true. Like we are now, the reason why we can bring it up because all of us learned that shit that you speaking in school. All of us did. But most of us, as we got older and started to pay closer attention to what really happened, we all started to see that there was a different story. But if you don't take the time to really learn that and get involved in it, if you bring somebody like Anton Daniels around who's an agitator, they're going to lead you to the point of frustration. I'm sure Anton Daniels was licking his chops to have this conversation because he knew that he understood the angles he can use to box Corey in. Remember, Anton said, I study you. He said that earlier. He said, I studied you. Let me go back and see if I can find that part.
So you may not claim it, but you're a reflection of it.
Here it is. Let me go back. Remember he said he studied them. Listen.
With so much. But
both of us.
I'm going to try to make a point because I have the hopes. I have the hopes in reaching him in a way. You know what I'm saying?
See, Corey wanted to reach Anton Daniels. What Corey got to understand is you can't reach people like him. One, half of what he's saying he knows bullshit. Anton Daniels is somebody who figured out the algorithm. And when you're dealing with people who figured out the algorithm and they put their religion first, they already working from he's already a step ahead of you. They're already a step ahead of you. His birthday is April 13th. Though that means he's an 8 of diamonds. 8 of diamonds, that's a manipulative card that gets you to focus on his looks and not his substance. He's an 8 of diamonds and he's an Aries. Yeah. But I'll do the card part later. But listen, this is where Corey is missing it. He's trying to teach Anton Daniels. You're not going to teach him. He's here on your show for the content. He's not here to learn. He's there for the content.
I know that ain't guaranteed. I'm not.
And I have the hopes that I'm gonna get y'all off of the Democratic plantation.
Yeah, because I don't know nothing about the Democratic plantation.
Everything that you speak of, it's a reflection of the same thing that they speak of. So you may not claim it, but you're a reflection of it.
Well,
he said Corey is a reflection of the Democrats. How? Corey don't push the Democrats push LGBTQ agenda and that kind of stuff. He don't push that. Victory Status says Anton needed this because he had a full meltdown with his co-host Just a day or so ago. Oh, I didn't know Anton had a meltdown with his co-host. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Thanks for that. Your birthday is April 12th, person in the chat. I said his birthday is April 13th. You a whole different card than that person. You a whole different card.
If I reflect something that is this Democratic plantation, I tell you what, I really don't study a Democratic plantation. I try to study being a stand-up human being where when I look in the mirror, I don't see a slick motherfucker.
Right.
That's who I am.
I'm with it.
I don't like slick motherfuckers.
That's the first thing we agreed on.
Okay, well,
He said, I'm with it. That's first. No, Anton's a slick motherfucker.
good. I'm glad we got there. But I get labeled all the time.
That was a lie.
I was talking to a young lady on the phone the other day, and she said, I know you hate what's the lady who calls herself a doctor? I'm blanking right now.
Oh, my God.
Dr. Bryant. And I'm like, I don't hate nobody. Where do you get hate from? And then I was on the internet. Every once in a while, I look at the pages that use my likeness and image and everything, and I listened to some of the stuff they said, and I was called bitter, and I don't know how to get money. But anyway, coincidentally, today I'm talking to a brother who knows how to work the internet well and get money.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
So it's like, everything comes in its season for a man like me. I don't say I got all the answers to everything, but I am willing to talk logically to people who I feel like are able to communicate.
And right there, Corey had good intentions right there. That was Corey's intention, to talk logically with people he feel are available to communicate. What Corey doesn't understand is that's not what Anton Daniels' approach in this game was. His game was to come on it. Oh, that's a good one. Google Lee said it. Basically, this is Tommy Sotomayor 2.0. Was essentially, hey, that's real talk. Y'all remember when Corey and Tommy Sotomayor and Zoe got into that shit about, that was like 10 years ago now. That was like 10 years ago. Corey, this show's here. But what did I say? This is a 10 of Hearts year. This is a year of direct conflict. Did I not say that in my reading of the year? It's 10 of Hearts, fisticuffs, direct conflict. And the conflict's going to come when you don't learn the lessons of the past. This is Tommy Sotomayor all over again. Tommy Sotomayor was an online troll then. They platformed him. And what did that do? It made Tommy Sotomayor get to be so much of the Zoe Williams and 5150 show at the time, responded to his hoe assness. Anton Daniels is Tommy Sotomayor, but way smarter and way cleaner. See, Tommy Sotomayor is dusty. This is a repackaged, much cleaner version of Tommy Sotomayor. So the 5150 show, dealing with the same thing over and over again, you can't save people.
That's what I'm saying. Because like the stuff you said, and you know, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck,
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, that's your personality too. Like,
and it would be boring to hear just one person's take or views on things. This makes it interesting.
Excuse me, ma'am. You need a mic, ma'am.
Okay, we saw. I appreciate the Cash App. Jeffrey Anthony, I appreciate the Cash App. Now I want to get to this last part right here before they get into the scuffle. I want to address this.
absolutely matters.
That means you in line.
No, if you vote first, the first thing that it means
Go to
is that
here.
Voting is for suckers.
it's not. People that don't vote are.
Country.
We have a less than 20% voter turnout rate in local.
Ain't nobody going for the sucker shit no more. We got to go.
You're missing it,
You got
man.
to uproot the people in power before a real difference happens. Voting is for suckers.
It's not. People that don't vote are ignorant as fuck.
Well, I guess I'm ignorant because I would never participate in no
People
sucker
that
shit.
don't vote, and
I'm
it's
gonna
so
show
funny.
up and vote like a sucker.
And not only is it ignorant,
We had Republican presidents. We had Democratic presidents.
You're not even
we in
hearing
the
what I'm
same
saying.
joint.
I'm talking about locally. You talking about national.
I don't give a fuck if
It
it's
matters.
local.
It
I don't
matters.
if you
It
vote,
absolutely
that
matters.
means you in line.
No, if you vote first, the first thing that it means is that you respect your ancestors that died for your right to be able to do it.
Let's go right there. I'm going to first deal with what Corey said. When you vote, it means you're in line. And that's true. And that's not just when it comes to black people. I'm over here looking for a quote because I forgot who said this particular. I just put the quote in. I forgot who said that quote. Let me see here. There we go. There it is. It's the John Dewey quote. Let me put up John Dewey's picture. John Dewey was a philosopher. He was an American philosopher that lived between 1859 and 1952. Damn near 100 years. This is John. So what Corey did was Corey gave a street way of saying something that John Dewey said back in the early 1900s. John Dewey said democracy is more than a form of government. It is primarily a mode of associated living of conjoint communication experience. Basically, what that means is, and when he further explained that point, he was framing voting, saying that voting is something that the country needs from its citizens for the country to know that the people still are care and are engaged, and the people need to vote to feel as if they have an opinion as to what's going on in the country. You have to read John Dewey. I remember I read that back in college. We studied him when I was in political science. Voting is for both sides. Voting is to give you the illusion that you matter. Voting reminds it shows the nation how much are these people engaged. Because we live on a fiat dollar system, because most of the world we live on is fiat, the thing that makes you feel that the things that reassures the country that you're engaged is through the vote. The vote is the illusion. This isn't me. This is how it was set up. Let me give you another example. Because Anton used voting locally. Let's see. What was that prop? Let me see. I think it was prop 187. Let me give you another example. Here in California, to show you how much bullshit voting is, voting only changes things if what you vote for is in alignment with the grand scheme of things. If it's in alignment with the plan. When we're dealing with things like immigration here in LA, Californians have always been against it. Let me do this. In California in 1994, we had something called Proposition 187. Prop 187 was saying that Californians voted to no longer give resources to illegal immigrants. Illegals can no longer get medical care for free. Illegal immigrants can no longer get education for free. This is what the California voter voted for in 1994. 58%. I know it's really small, You can see. Let me see if I can make it. This is what the California voted for in 1994. Prop 187. 8.9 million people voted. Look at this. This was a 60% turnout. That's a very high turnout. 60% of registered voters voted, and it won overwhelmingly. What did California say? California basically said, that's not what we want. We want these motherfuckers coming over here. And we got to take care of them. So, your vote. That's local politics where that happened. Since he want to bring up local politics. There's an example of local politics not working. National politics. Bush, we have an electoral college. So just in case the people get the vote for the president wrong, the electoral college can come through and get it right. That's why the electoral college exists. And when the electoral college is confused, that's why the Supreme Court exists and chooses a president. The Supreme Court chose Bush because that Bush election was all kind of fraudulent shit. The Supreme Court chose Rutherford B. Hayes over Tilden in 1877. I'm sorry, 72. No, 77. 77. The Supreme Court, when there was an impasse, the Supreme Court chose the one that was going to, and the Supreme Court's decision to put Rutherford B. Hayes in office was the Southern Compromise. Going back to race, you coon ass nigga. Remove federal protections for black people and end Reconstruction. Your vote only matters when it's in alignment with the overall political agenda of a nation. So you're dealing with somebody who doesn't even understand American. See, with Anton Daniels, he knows how to talk slow and clear. So because he speaks slow and clear, he sounds smart. But he's not a smart guy. And a lot like Charlie Kirk, don't know what the fuck he talking about. But since it sounds good, it goes by over people's head who don't know better. And the thing is, most people don't know better. So it works.
Your ancestors
it's so funny to
didn't do.
Oh, and the whole ancestors died for the right to vote. Get the fuck out of here. That's not why they died. They died to live free. Not they don't want no goddamn voting. They didn't want to pick cotton for free no more. That's why they died. Do you know that black men in the North could vote? It was black men in the South that was voting during the time of slavery. Do y'all know that? It was certain states like Mississippi that banned free blacks from voting. But in North Carolina, free blacks still voted in North Carolina in the 1800s. But you got to know your goddamn history to know this shit. You know who else was a free black that voted? Moses Dixon. Moses Dixon was a free black man who in the 1840s created a network, the Knights of Liberty, that was a secret resistance movement that freed black people from plantations. He left the North and went to the South to get this done. Because when he moved to the South, he was a barber in the South. I'm talking about during the time of slavery. He was a free black man that moved to the North to Mississippi in the 1840s to be a barber. Free barber. He was a free black man living in Mississippi. Did you know that, Anton Daniels, that there were free black people living in Mississippi during the time of slavery? And he didn't like what was going on, so he created a whole network to free niggas. So all that dying for the right to vote, hell no. They were dying for the right to be recognized and to live as full humans. Stop that lie. Stop that lie. Stop that lie.
Do it like this.
Because
people went to war when the government tried to overthrow the people and the power of the people. It was wars. There hasn't been a war inside the U.S. where the people who getting fucked over are doing something about motherfuckers with 30 felonies being the president.
It's
war. All sucker shit
it's
going
a war
on.
every day. It's just not physical anymore.
Well, that's the problem. We need physical wars.
It's not.
It's most definitely in the mind. And the bullshit that you espouse, Anton Daniels, was put into the mind by the supreme architects of war. And that's why you can call yourself a Christian all you want, but you're still seen as a nigga.
The majority of the people, because you like to use a blanket statement. That's like me saying all black people are stupid.
Well, have you said all white people stupid?
No, I'm talking about cops.
You should say that one time.
I'm talking about
because
cops.
It's easy to say all black people are stupid as an example. Say something about the white people.
No. You're not.
I don't think you got
people all the time.
Well, I didn't hear you. Can you tell me? Because I don't know.
About liberal white women literally being the biggest enemy of the United States of America. That's the thing I say every single day.
Caucasian female, the biggest enemy.
Literally, white liberal women are the.
He went to white women. He did not talk about white men. And white women are getting put in check now. I just opened up the phone line. So any of y'all want to call in, y'all see the number right there. Call in and say what you got to say. And if you can't see the number is 323-705-5150. If it asks you for an extension 800. Notice he's refusing to go after white men. Why? Because again, he sees himself as Christian. And he's aligning with the same party. Remember, the Christians use Christianity. I remember when I started really seeing the game for what it was. It was during the Bush presidency. I grew up in church all throughout the 80s and the 90s as a youth, as a child and a youth. And I bought into a lot of the Christian indoctrination the early time of my life. I bought into that. Let me read some of these super chats. Hold on, caller, 1 second. I'm reading these super chats and I'm getting right to you.
But
Landon says, Anton's pushing disinformation, right? Oh, I read that one already. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Landon says, Corey was too well intentioned for a coon like this, right? He got screwed over by his intention. FU says Anton's taking a lot of subliminal shots. He was throwing a hell of a lot of subs. Yes, he was. And Victory Status says, if Anton said it's true about local politics, why were Ohio State, USC, and other colleges pushing people out of their homes? Right. That's real talk. With the gentrification these colleges have been doing. And not just those schools. University of Pennsylvania, Penn State, and all them schools too. Harvard. You know what I mean? That's real talk. But what's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
What up, Dwayne, man? This is Trey from Louisville, Kentucky.
Trey from Louisville, Kentucky.
Yes, sir. What up, man? Yeah, fuck that Anton Daniels nigga, man. 2026 is starting out with a bang. A lot of these coons, these traitors, these tethers, they've been exposed from Glass Malone to Corey Holcomb. I don't know if it was some meeting of real niggas prior to the beginning of this year, but niggas.
Hold on one second. I'm gonna hold this call. Put them on hold. Hold on 1 second. What's up, caller? Hold on. I'm gonna get to you soon as I'm done with this last with the other caller.
Bet.
All right, go ahead. Finish what you got to say.
Yeah, man. But that was beautiful. was beautiful. You know, Corey bringing the nigga to the show and having you explain yourself in front of real FBA black men. And he really didn't have a leg to stand on. You know, and he keep talking about Detroit. Nigga, you making Detroit look like a bunch of hoes. And no disrespect to Detroit, but you feel me? That's not a good look. You feel me? So any Detroit dudes, I want to, you know, show some stand up activity, you know, to counter that fuck shit. Please do so. But yeah, shout out to Corey on that shit. He held it down. And niggas talking about Corey. Well, Corey should have went outside. Corey just filed a motherfucking case with Aries motherfucking Spears, come up there trying to set him up and shit. Hey, my nigga got assets. He got assets. When you got assets, you don't do reckless shit. You feel me? But I will say this. He might have been tempted to do it if nigga would have said what he said into his face. He might have did that, but you know, as far as and plus the nigga had a big bodyguard or whatever, but they said nigga was a hoe anyway. But you know, so you know, fuck Anton and fuck any nigga like him. You know, and Myron Gaines and all the motherfuckers who think like him trying to come up shitting on FBAs and shit like that. Fuck you, bitch niggas. It's the year of reckoning and get ready for it. Hey man, shout out to you, the wine. Hold it the fuck down, man. I've been listening to you since your first podcast.
I appreciate it, brother.
Your very first episode about child support, my nigga. Man, keep it up.
Man, much love, dog. Thanks. Have a good one.
No thanks.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you too.
All right, caller, what's up? What's the name? Where you calling from?
You talking to me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's going on, Big Dewan B, man? What's up, man? This is B1 Business. I'm calling out of Fort Worth, Texas, man. First, I want to say peace to you. Appreciate you letting me come on, and peace to your podcast. I mean, your live show, your broadcast tonight, and everything, man. I've been watching for a minute, just to give you a little rundown quickly. I've been watching you for a minute. I actually met you at the FBA Expo down here in Dallas, and I caught you live the other night when you was going live, sitting outside talking. I was trying to ask you about your family, because you said a lot of your family is from Dallas Fort Worth, and you, I think you said you was Choctaw. You got Choctaw in your family too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. I just I was getting that clear. But anyway, man. We all saw. Well, I saw it, and I turned it off once they started getting in each other's face and stuff. I was like, man, I don't even want to see Corey crash out on this dude. But Anton is big time Sampo. He anti-black, and like you said, you don't never put nothing before your blackness. No religion, no frat or no sorority, none of that crap. You don't put none of that before your blackness. You black before you anything, and that's what I teach my kids, man. But I'm glad Corey didn't, get physical with dude, and I'm glad he kind of, put him in check and checked him the whole time, and to the point where Anton got up out of there. But I'm glad he didn't do nothing physical with him, and I'm glad you are addressing this. And we can't wait for you to get back to Texas area again, man.
Yes,
I support you big time, brother.
Man, I appreciate it, man. So I think I remember talking to you too, man. Man, you have a good one, brother.
All right, you too.
Yes, sir. Yeah, like going back to the whole, let's address that part real quick. The whole part about the violence and people saying Corey back down. This goes back to what I was talking about the other night during my live. Caller, hold on one second. I'll get right to you. When it comes to issues, disputes, we want to pull back on the acts of physical harm, unless you all the way ready to do that. Now, I'm pretty sure Corey was really ready to do that, because when we get older, like your body get older before your mind. Let me break that down. Your body get older before your mind. And so when you feel a certain way, you can easily snap into how you felt when you was 22. And at 22, you're going to handle things different than you are at 52, at 42. So that's why we all want to pull back on these antagonistic situations, because your mind can react quicker than your body's ready to rationalize. And then at some point, it'll rationalize and balance itself out. Somebody like Anton Daniels went there for the smoke. If Anton Daniels got his glasses punched in, that would be content for him. He might not sue directly because he gonna say I got money, but that would have been a guaranteed 2 more years of content for him had he gotten punched in the eye. So this is a win-win for Anton Daniels. Both the way Corey ended up resolving it, or if Corey took it to the next level and beat his ass. Either way it go, with the agenda he walked in there with, he was going to walk out with a win. Let's pull back on that. What's up, Carl? What's the name? Where you calling from?
Hi, my name is Coco, and I'm calling from Fort Worth, Texas.
Coco from Fort Worth. Got a lot of Fort Worth in the house tonight. What's going on?
Well, I do want to say, because I am a contractor with the municipality, that it is important, and unfortunately, Black people do not engage, well, really, Americans, period, do not engage in local and state elections, and we really should, because there's so much money that's tied into different propositions, especially when it comes to school districts, deciding if teachers are going to get raises, looking at redistricting, or looking at what new schools are going to be built, facilities and things like that. So I do believe, especially with I've worked in local, well, I've been a contractor for local government, state government. It's very important, because on the state level, Texas was one of the states that had put the laws in place state level to dissolve DEI, when what happens, and I don't think a lot of people know this, is that states, especially state conventions and things like that, they pay attention to what other states do. So if they see, and typically Texas is like the incubator of seeing if different things are going to pass. So once it, approves in a big state like Texas, then they're going to try it in other states, other red states, and then eventually it will roll up into the federal level. So that's why especially if you're a taxpayer, I know it's different in California, but if you're a landowner, a taxpayer, you own property, it's so very important to pay attention, to local, meaning your councilman, right? In Texas, at least where I live, we have local council, and we have Texas state legislators, Texas House of Representatives, and then of course you have federal, your senator and your House of Representatives. So I just say I just would like Black people to be more aware and at least look into who your local council person is. Call them if you see something that's going on. If there's roads that need to be repaired, that's their job. So I
agree exactly what you're saying, but here's where my slight adjustment on it comes. Voting is a part of that, but from my point of view, voting is one of the smaller parts of that. You have to get to know your local representatives, whoever's in that place, and find a way to work with them, even if it's the opposite party. Because I love my little city I live in. I was walking down the alley the other day where I live, where I'll be able to do my lives from, and the garbage is always dumped. If people dump stuff in these alleys, the city's there cleaning it up within a week. You know what I mean? I got the phone. I had the last police chief's cell phone number. He out of there. If somebody new in there, I got the new police chief's owner. Hey, I got 4 buildings on this block. You know what I mean? So, but go back to what you said, engagement, because I'll be down there engaging with my city, and when it's these meetings, you'd be lucky if 19 people show up. You know what I mean? For the whole city and millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people. You know what I mean? So it's important.
That's right. So
Yeah, no, because I always say it's important, but the way I look at politics is, I don't tell people whether to vote or not vote. You got to follow your own consciousness when it comes to that. But whether you vote or not, even if you do vote, your vote does not matter if you not down at them school board meetings, if you're not down there at the city council meetings, if you're not down there and making your face be known. I knew who Maxine Waters was because my mom was taking me to Maxine Waters meetings when she was when she was a state representative before she went federal back in the late 80s. So, that's where the politics happens. And you got to get to engage on that level. And if you're not engaged on that level, something like what Anton Daniels has said, okay, even if you do vote, that's just one day. You got 2 more years to the next vote. You got another what? 300, 800 some odd days, 820, 30 days before the next vote. You got to be active. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's all I wanted. I mean, I think Anton is very calculated. He's very smart. He knows what he's doing.
Almost definitely.
I think it's unfortunate that it ended that way because I really do. I'm more moderate. I'm not a Democrat anymore. There's just too many things that I've seen, especially I have young kids and what they're pushing, and I have a young daughter, and what they're pushing. I don't want no parts of that.
No, you don't.
So,
no,
so I'm mostly moderate conservative. Yeah, I'm mostly moderate conservative. But like you said, it doesn't matter who it is, whether they're independent, Republican, or Democrat. I want to know my council person to be like, look, like you said, what are we doing about these roads? What about my taxes? What about my property? Can we, like, what's going on? Are we cutting the tax rate? Is it going to be set? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, I do care for military. I do care about the police because I have a relationship. Like you said, you have relationships with people, and not all of them are bad, but there are some bad ones. But the good ones, you want them to show up when they need to show up.
Real talk. Thanks for giving us a call. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Love it. Thank you.
Yeah, she's right. And like, look at this is Brandy right here. She knows it. See, Brandy came. Like, look, we be involved here. Brandy is who be my ear on the ground when it comes to stuff. If Isaac Bryan is in LA, anywhere around the Leimert Park, Brandy, she be on his ass. That's the dude that got in the way and crippled the reparations bill here for California. Isaac Bryan can't walk around the Crenshaw district without having somebody in his face. And Brandy's one of them. So when I hear people like Anton Daniels saying, well, when black people don't do, we don't do this, we don't do that. Are you out there? I'm out there. And I saw what happened right here in the Crenshaw district with voters, with people who are politically active. Brandy's group had the goddamn $113 million to buy the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza and was working with the city councilman and still lost the bid for the Russians that came for with $108 million. So even when even when you are politically engaged, it still doesn't guarantee an outcome. But it's best that you do try. What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
Hey, I'm calling from St. Louis. Cut it down so I can talk to him.
Yeah.
I'm calling from St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis and what's going on?
Hey, I wanted to tap in on the Corey and the Antoine situation. I felt like Antoine was out of place when he called Corey a man. You're a sucker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that was foul. It was inappropriate, and I really think that Antoine did that to kind of get clickbait on his end.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
That's
saying?
exactly what it was.
Who calls another man? Who calls another man a you know what I'm saying? A sucker. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, who does that? Like, he was foul, and I felt like he came there to kind of amp his show up. That's what I felt like. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah, he came to
who comes
torpedo
to somebody else's house? Absolutely. Who comes to your house and cuss you out and disrespect you and think there's no repercussions behind that?
That whole situation
like
that happened was 15, 20 minutes into the show. That would usually a blow up like that happens like way into it. That shows you that Antoine came in there. Well, he came in there with bad intentions.
He came in there with bad intentions, and I just, I'm a woman, and I'm thinking from a woman, aspect of it. You never disrespect a man like that, and I don't feel like Corey was out of place, and I feel like Antoine went about that life because Corey said, "Tell me in my face again what you just called me,"
and he did.
You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You better know he didn't, because you don't talk to real men like that.
That's real talk.
You talk to LGBTQ which I think he might be, in my opinion, allegedly. Okay, let's talk about it. So, I wanted to tap in because I'm watching him. I said, let me call him and let him know. I'm looking at what this man did. Everybody want to get on, but he got on the wrong type of way. You know what I'm saying? Like, clout chasing, basically.
Real talk.
So I want to tap in from Missouri and let you know he was foul, he was out of place, and in my opinion, I know we don't support, fighting and things like that, but what he did right there, and we was on the street anywhere else, any other man I know of would have gave him what he was looking for.
Real talk.
Yeah, close his mouth up. So yes, sir, I'm tapping in with you, and I thank you for taking my phone call.
Thank you for calling us. St. Louis in the house. Thanks.
All right.
JD Jemison, give me a call back. I saw it as you calling. JD, call back. Ellisina, most definitely schoolyard tactics. Most definitely schoolyard tactics. Yeah, they Anton Daniels knew what he was doing. What's up, JD? You about to be my last call. What's on your mind, brother?
Oh, man, I just had to call and man, I'm surprised I got through. But, yeah, man, I'm just as surprised. I was looking at that shit, and I'm glad I got I'm glad you're doing that follow-up.
Yes, sir. You the third. On top of that, I thought you was calling in because you the third person to call in from Funky Town today.
Exactly. I seen that, too, man. I say, man, hold up, man. And on top of that, man, we got to slide in that your boy Larry Goodwill birthday party coming in. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, you going to be down there in Houston this weekend? That's what's up.
I gotta work 2 jobs that day, so I might try to send him some scratch so he can get him some good weed, not that bunk I'll be smoking. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean well. But man, keep on cooking. I haven't even watched the whole 5150. I just keep on playing it back to the halfway point. But I'm gonna go back and watch it after I hear what you and Craig Face got to say about it.
Yes, sir.
But man. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all always been solid. There's always something to learn. And, I can get the rambling. Your phone line jumping. Whole Tepish, 2026, baby.
Yes, sir, man. JD, you have a good one, brother.
You too, man. See you soon.
Yes, sir. Yeah, y'all. Yeah. I'm about to have to get up off here because I'm about to light my grill up. Kicking in with Rocky. Rocky here. Look at Rocky. Oh, shit. Oh, damn it. I can't get my camera. I was going to try to get y'all to see Rocky. But, yeah, it's not going to happen. My camera is in a bad position. And I can't get it. Oh, here we go. Look at Rocky. Y'all see Rocky? Hey, that's my junk back there. Y'all see Rocky? Rocky back here knocked out. Y'all see Rocky? Y'all looking at my junk over there. Y'all see Rocky right here? Rocky over here like, fuck what all y'all talking about. I'm getting this sleep on. That's what Rocky doing. So, me and Rocky got to kick it, y'all. Me and Rocky got to kick it. We got to kick it. Hey, Larry, I'm going to train Rocky to bite you, nigga. Next time you come to L.A., I'm going to train him to bite only one person on earth. Your bitch ass. Oh, yeah, Rocky be chilling hard. Rocky be chilling hard. Rocky knocked out. I've been all loud and shit, and Rocky's been sitting here. Join the Patreon, y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Patreon. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Patreon. Music University's back at it this coming Sunday. More reading shows on the way. I'll take one last call before I get up out of here. What's up, caller? Caller, where you calling from?
Hi, how are you? I'm happy to get in. Hi everyone in the chat. I've seen that incident with Corey and Anton. And I'm gonna tell you this about Anton and why I feel like Corey was getting to a point that a lot of people didn't want to say. Antoine is very antagonistic. You know what I'm saying? So I used to watch him, and it's all he got a lot of bunch of lapdogs, yes men around him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he the type that once you give him some money and you know what I'm saying, you're a color, you get the big head. Everybody's small in your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody like next to you. And, you know, he always just throw out insinuating stuff in comments. Even to the people who go to subscribe to him. A lot of, you know, black people didn't have a mom and a daddy like I did in the same household, married for some years. He's showing his bigotry. Like, I'm better than y'all. My mom and dad raised me in the same house. How do you know these people weren't raised in the same household? How do you know they weren't raised with strong infrastructure? How do you know they weren't raised with moral compass?
Right.
How do you know they mom and dad weren't good? And I don't know why people of color go over there and get put down by him. Because if you're not supporting him, you don't want you over there. And the thing about me is, you know, he can be what type of politician that he, you know, what you know, how he, you know, run his political, you know, however, you know, his ethnic or whatever. But I'm neither one either. I'm not Republican or Democrat.
Yeah, neither one, yeah.
I'm going to speak my mind. I believe in walking with integrity. It's the stuff that he says. He know how to twist his words. He know how to twist words now.
He know how to introduce one thing and then give an example talking about something else. Like when Corey asked him,
talking about something else.
Yeah, when Corey asked him, "Are you? What do you think you are?" He said, "Well, what do you think we are?" Corey said, "What do you think we are as a people?" He said, "Well, I'm Christian." That wasn't a question, goddammit. How are we seeing was the question, and he went all the way around that with some Christian BS.
He don't think he's part of the black community because of his status. How he feel like he should walk in the world with a stink. So who we are, I'm a Christian. I was born in a Christian home. The thing about it is his stance on his money. But me, I don't want to be part of nobody like that at all. And why I say that is because the thing of, he's the type of person that I already, you know, dismissed. There's another lady on here on the internet. She talks to people in a kind of way. It's his stats. He's not saying that he's part of black culture. He's not caring about. I don't care how. I think so much of my money that I don't care if the police go over there and hurt someone, you know, younger African American son. I'm not gonna speak on that. I'm not gonna speak on the top of the police or something went on with them two boys in the mountains. I'm not gonna speak on that. I don't care for my family. Something it's like to me, he gonna himself out as in the black culture. Like, I got money. They're not going to do nothing to me. I want people to look at his ego is demoralized. His ego is demoralized. Well, you think. And I want to tell you, get to my point and show you why he's crazy at, and I want y'all to pick up on delusion. You think your money will stop them if they come from all African American races? Look what they did to Michael Jackson.
Let me answer that for you.
Are you okay?
Let me answer that for you because I have to get up out of here. But let me answer that for you. He thinks that by identifying as Christian, he thinks that by shitting on black people, he thinks that's going to protect him from them coming for him. Because he's not black. He's anti. But
he's anti. The thing about it is that's not what it is either. He's doing exactly what Corey say he does to keep them from coming for him.
Real talk.
That's to sell the black people out short by doing content against them, talking about them, just, you know what I'm saying, deteriorating and tarnish the black culture neighbor. He's doing what they want him to do. You know what?
That's exactly what he's doing. But I got to get out of here because I was about to hang up out of here, get up out of here. But thanks for giving us a call.
Thank you. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
I'm gonna read these last few super chats and I gotta get up out of here. Landon Dallas says, "Where's Anton from?" I don't know where he's from. He say Detroit, but the way he talk, he can't be from here. Anton's a typical fake black conservative grifter. What is that? He can be from here. He most definitely can be from here because when anytime Jason Whitlock is from here and he's like a better dressed than Jason Whitlock. And Samuel says some real shit. AT88. Anton is admitted siphon of subscribers. Well, I'm not sure how many subscribers he's gonna siphon off from this one, because most people in 5150 land don't fuck with people like Anton Daniels. But there are a lot of people who hate watching Grudge Watch 5150. I'm sure he'll pick her up. All right. Thank y'all again for listening. Remember, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. Join the Patreon and all that good stuff right now. All right? Y'all have a good one. We're going to do a late night. Not tonight, but probably tomorrow night. And tomorrow night, we're going to be on TikTok. Tomorrow, we're going to be on TikTok, 7 p.m. Pacific, talking music. We're going to be doing some music TikTok tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific. Follow me at DewanB1 over on TikTok. Same as my Cash App, DewanB1. All right? Y'all have a good one. We out. Oh, Victory Status says, are you telling me Antoine is Crispy's Biscuit Part 2? Yes. Have a good one.